Part 6: AI Leadership Across Industries. Why context changes everything. Think of it. One technology, but many leadership realities in different industries. AI does not arrive uniformly. It is tempting, especially in conferences, reports, and boardrooms, to speak of AI transformation as if it were a single journey with a single map. It isn't. AI behaves like electricity in one sense. It becomes general purpose. But unlike electricity, its impact is mediated by context, regulation, risk tolerance, legacy systems, talent availability, ethical stakes, and the nature of value creation. Leadership, therefore, cannot be copy-paste. The central mistake many leaders make is trying to replicate success stories from other industries without understanding why those stories worked there. This part is about contextual leadership, how AI reshapes leadership differently depending on the industry, and what that means for decisions, culture, governance, and pace. Let's look at healthcare: authority, ethics, and the primacy of trust. Here's the leadership challenge. In healthcare, the stakes are existential: lives, dignity, and trust. AI in healthcare can detect disease earlier than clinicians, analyze medical images at scale, predict patient deterioration, and optimize hospital operations. But healthcare leadership is constrained by ethical responsibility, regulatory oversight, professional autonomy, and public trust. Here, leadership is not about speed. It is about legitimacy. So, what leaders must do in this context? You can frame AI as clinical augmentation, not replacement, preserve human judgment in final decisions, build explainability into AI-supported diagnoses, engage clinicians early and deeply, and create ethics review processes that are operational, not symbolic. What fails in this context? Healthcare AI initiatives fail when leaders impose AI top-down without clinician buy-in, over-automate diagnostic authority, treat AI as cost-cutting rather than care-enhancing, and underestimate the cultural power of professional identity. Here is the leadership insight you must pay attention to. Let's take another example from financial services: risk, regulation, and algorithmic discipline. The leadership challenges in this area is that finance has always been data-driven. AI supercharges this. AI in finance enables fraud detection, algorithmic trading, credit scoring, compliance monitoring, and personalized financial advice. But finance leadership operates under strict regulation, systemic risk exposure, reputational fragility, and moral hazard. Here, leadership is about control without paralysis. What leaders must do in this context: embed AI governance into risk frameworks, ensure explainability and auditability, maintain human oversight for high-impact decisions, align AI incentives with long-term stability, educate boards and regulators proactively. What fails in finance sector is when leaders chase short-term gains, deploy opaque models without accountability, underestimate regulatory reaction, and centralize power in algorithms without oversight. Leadership insight here in finance indicate the fact that AI amplifies both intelligence and irresponsibility. Leadership must amplify the former and constrain the latter. Let's look at the manufacturing sector, how AI can enable it. Well, you can create autonomy, accountability, and system reliability. For example, AI in manufacturing delivers predictive maintenance, real-time quality inspection, demand forecasting, supply chain optimization, and robotics coordination. This is one of the most tangible AI transformations. But leadership must manage workforce transition, safety, reliability, and capital intensity. What leaders must do in this context is to redesign roles around human-machine collaboration. Invest in reskilling, not just automation. Treat AI as a reliability system, not an experiment. Build redundancy and fail-safes. Align unions and workforce stakeholders early. What often fails in the manufacturing sector is when leaders frame AI purely as labor reduction, ignore shop floor realities, deploy automation without retraining, and over-optimize and reduce resilience. Leadership insight. In manufacturing, AI success depends less on algorithms and more on human alignment. If you take the case of retail and consumer businesses, AI can help you with prediction, personalization, and speed. Retail is where AI's competitive impact is often most visible and most brutal. That's because AI enables hyper-personalized marketing, dynamic pricing, inventory optimization, demand prediction, and customer experience automation. Leaders in retail industry faces razor-thin margins, fast-changing consumer behavior, platform competition, and intense data pressure. Here, leadership is about speed and relevance. Therefore, leaders must learn to integrate AI into core customer journeys, balance personalization with privacy, use AI to shorten decision cycles, continuously test and adapt offerings, and build data ethics into brand promise. What is likely to fail here is when leaders treat personalization as surveillance, over-automate customer interactions, chase novelty without value, and ignore brand trust implications. The leadership insight in consumer markets is that AI rewards leaders who learn faster than customers change. For another industry example, let's delve into technology and digital platforms. Technology companies sit at the epicenter of AI. They build foundational models, platforms used by millions, and tools that shape society. Leadership here is uniquely exposed. The challenge is not adoption, it is responsibility at scale. Here, the leaders must balance innovation with societal impact, anticipate regulatory and ethical backlash, govern platform effects carefully, avoid winner-take-all arrogance, and invest in safety and alignment. Tech leadership fails when growth eclipses responsibility, ethics lag deployment, leaders underestimate societal consequences, and trust is treated as expendable. In technology, AI leadership is as much moral as it is strategic. For education sector, AI imposes an existential question. What does learning mean when AI can answer almost any question? AI can personalize learning paths, tutor at scale, automate assessment, and expand access. But education leadership must confront curriculum obsolescence, teacher identity, institutional inertia, and societal expectations. Therefore, leaders must shift from content delivery to capability development, teach critical thinking, not memorization, integrate AI as a learning partner, retrain educators, not replace them, and redefine assessment and success. Education AI fails when leaders ban AI, reflexively treat it as cheating rather than change, preserve outdated curricula, and avoid hard conversations about relevance. Here's the thing. In education, AI exposes what we've been pretending learning was. When you deploy AI in public sector and government, the question is about legitimacy, transparency, and fairness. Governments face unique constraints: public accountability, legal frameworks, political pressure, and equity obligations. AI can improve service delivery, detect fraud, optimize resource allocation, and enhance policy analysis. But leadership must protect citizen trust, fairness, and transparency. The job for leaders is to make AI use explicit and explainable, ensure human appeal and oversight, avoid algorithmic discrimination, engage the public honestly, and coordinate across agencies. AI fails when leaders hide AI use, deploy systems without accountability, treat citizens as data points, and ignore fairness concerns. In government, AI leadership is legitimacy leadership. Across all industries, one truth holds: AI does not replace leadership. It reveals leadership. It reveals clarity or confusion, courage or avoidance, ethics or expediency, learning or stagnation. Leaders who understand their industry's specific constraints and opportunities will thrive. Those who import generic playbooks will struggle. So far, during this course, we've explored mindset, skills, and industry context. But leadership is also shaped by scale. Leading a startup with AI is not the same as leading a multinational. Leading a family business is not the same as leading a platform giant. In the next part of this course, we examine how organizational size changes AI leadership and why size is neither advantage nor disadvantage by default.